Rangnick, no reason why Premier League should not have 5 subs. Alf Rangnick has called for the Premier League to allow 5 substitutions to help deal with the hectic schedule and COVID outbreaks at clubs. The temporary rule to allow extra changes in a match was announced in May 2020 as football returned from the pandemic in an attempt to help players cope with the congested fixture list after the shutdown. While most of Europe's top leagues still have the 5 substitution rule in place, the Premier League reverted back to just 3 changes, despite several managers criticizing the decision. Rangnick believes that the high number of COVID cases in the league means that the situation is now a similar one to back in 2020 when the rule was first introduced. As far as I remember, it was decided that every team could substitute 5 players when COVID started 1.5 years ago, Rangnick said. I think it was the right decision to have more options to change players to save energy for players, especially if they have just recovered from COVID. The same is true right now. We have a similar situation to 1.5 years ago, so I see no reason why it shouldn't be the same now. As far as I know, in Europe, England is the only country that only allows 3 subs. In the other 4 big leagues in Europe, you can substitute 5 players. If you have 8 outfield players on the team sheet, you should always be able to replace 5. If you can only replace 3 of them, you will always have 5 players on the bench who cannot play. I think it would be a great help to have 5 subs. It would increase the emotional situation in the squad. It's about game time. I haven't spoken with the players about that, but I don't need to, as I know most would be in favor. After they had 2 Premier League matches postponed, Manchester United are back in action on Monday for the first time in 16 days when they travel to face Newcastle. Rangnick has won both of his league matches in charge so far and revealed that the COVID outbreak at United is now behind them as they look forward to getting back on the pitch. The last training session we had 8 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers, and then we closed down the training ground for 4 days in order to break the chain, Rangnick said. Today was the 3rd day of training this week and we had 25 outfield players. The development of the last week was extremely positive. As far as I could see in training, they are all in good shape. They did their homework. They all have their schedule to train at home. They stick to that schedule and program, and from what I saw in training, most of them, if not all of them, might be available.